Guys, we're doing a Q&J discussion in Bangkok, and we do have wine because
we can.
Because we can. And tonight, wherever you are in the world, we're going to be talking about fear.
Yes.
And I think it's funny that we have wine because we haven't recorded a video in ages, and I had a tiny bit of fear around making a video again. You know how sometimes you get comfortable doing something and then it's like fine.
And then you stop, and then it's just not comfortable anymore. And I was a little bit nervous too before filming these.
So we want to talk about fear because it's come up a lot. We feel a lot of fear in our lives, and we've overcome a lot of fear, and we have a lot of discussions with athletes who are transitioning into that next phase, and the biggest thing that they are experiencing is fear, and it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of being left by themselves outside of their sporting environment, the fear of how they're going to support their families, the fear of no one looking up to them and not having that identity as an athlete.
The fear of like uncertainty about their future, like all kinds of fear.
And it's very real, but it's also not real, if that makes sense. And I want to dive deep into that because I think that we've gone through some phases in our life, Jane and I, both of us individually and together, that have been extreme fearful situations. And at the time, you want to it consumes you and you can't see the big picture. And we're very fortunate that we're the type and the mentality, and I think it's the same with a lot of athletes, we have this mentality, like, feel the fear, do it anyway, and we kind of broke through that and kept going.
Like, we were hesitant, don't get us wrong, we were hesitant, but we still slowly worked through that fear.
Yeah, and we fucked up a lot, and I'm not embarrassed ourselves, but we felt embarrassed or ashamed about certain things that we did and how we...
About failing, about not doing the right thing, about being unsure of ourselves, like, so many things.
Yeah, about not being good enough, about, like, I don't know, just bullshit. You know, your mind comes up with so many different irrational fears, and they're very real because you feel them. Your body releases something
it's the truth to you. It's your truth.
It's your truth. But on the other side of it is absolutely everything that you ever want or need, and it's so easy to say, and I know that it is, but it's so crazy. Like, to us, for example, when we first started our online business, and we hadn't even come up with athletes for athletes at this point, we had so much fear around being online entrepreneurs and talking to people, and we wanted to work with athletes, and we had some athletes say no to us in the very beginning. We didn't know what we were doing. We had some meetings, and
and I don't blame them.
No, because we didn't know what we were doing.
But that rejection just created more fear and more doubt within us. It planted that seed, and we just didn't know how to
derailed us for a long time.
And it got to the point where we were ignoring it. Like, we were just pushing it off. We were just like procrastinating. We were just running away from it.
Yeah, we had this amazing opportunity, but we didn't want to do it because we had so much fear around it. And I think that it's so relatable to so many people, and the fear was in our minds because who really gives a fuck?
Yeah, and who was even watching us? We thought, things were revolving around us and people were watching us and making fun of us, laughing at us. That wasn't the case at all. It was just all in our heads. And
no one cares as much as we care. Although we did have a conversation last night with an athlete, and he's like, you two and your videos, and you're such dorks. And we were like, okay, we can roll with that. Like, dorks are fine. And you know what? There's never going to be people that love everything that you're doing or agree with what you're doing or support what you're doing. But if it feels good for you and you know that it's the right next step for you, like, I think pushing through those fears, and we wanted to create an environment where athletes didn't have to feel as much fear because we felt it all from every different angle. Our parents were on our backs all the time, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We had judgment, and we had a whole lot of self-doubt and
we had a lot of limiting self-belief.
Yeah, and we let it overtake us for ages, and when we created Athletes for Athletes, that's what we had in mind. Like, we want an environment where athletes come to us where they don't have to go through so much fear. Like, obviously you're going to feel fear, and
you know what, even throughout that whole period, that time where Quincy and I were going through it together and we were feeling that fear, we had each other. And if we didn't have each other,
we wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it. And so that's why when we were thinking about Athletes for Athletes and coming up with the concept, we were like, we want to create that safe space, because Quincy and I, when we were together, we didn't care if we failed because we were in it together. Like, and we had each other's back.
There's literally nothing that can stop us together, because
at all.
We have some really crazy big fuck off ass dreams. Like, we're going to be on the cover of Forbes. We're going to have this massive team of athletes, thousands of athletes.
I'm going to be in 30 under 30.
Yeah, I'm already over 30, so I'm going to be in the under 35. But we have these really crazy ass, like, we're going to be millionaires. We're going to create
and we're going to have the largest team environment of athletes and entrepreneurs in the world, like the largest.
And we own that now, but we wanted that from the beginning, but we had so much fear around that, and it doesn't matter what happens, we're going to do that, and we're going to create that, and we want that environment where athletes can step into a place where we feel the fear, we all feel it together, and we say fuck it, and we keep going.
Just keep pushing through.
Yeah, and we achieve our goals and our dreams, and we do it together, because if her and I can hold hands and do it, and we can hold your hand and do it together,
and we can give you that safe space, that feeling, so that even if you are feeling that fear, we can push through it together.
Yeah, like you can, like vibe off each other. Like,
exactly.
You know,
like
I don't like each other. Yeah, I don't like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Or like I just fucked this up massively, and we're like, don't worry, because we've done so many of the mistakes. We've felt the fear. I don't know.
And you can't succeed if you don't fail. Like, people are so scared of failure, but it's such a great lesson in life. Like, Michael Jordan always says, the reason I succeed is because I failed time and time again. And it is so true. Like, you don't need to be afraid of failure. It's just like, because you know what? It's not a failure, it's a lesson. You learn from it. And that's like,
and it's not glamorous, like, because when you fail, sometimes you cry and you feel sorry for yourself and you feel embarrassed.
But you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So,
and we only want to work with the strong. So
Darwinism. Only the strong survive.
Only the strong survive in the athletes for athletes community. No, but we wanted to let everyone know that because we have had people who are now going through our community and becoming part of it, who have said that they had fear initially of just reaching out to us, and they had so many fears around what it is that they could achieve and their own beliefs, and I don't know, like so much stupid stuff. And then now that they're in and they're like, you guys are crazy, like this is cool, they feel like they're part of the team. And I think that for anyone watching this and watching our videos and have seen our journey or thinking about reaching out to us, the first step is just finding out like what it is that we do. You're not coming in and being locked into our little team.
No, exactly.
You know, you get to come in and have a look and see if it's the right fit.
You get to learn a little bit more about us. We get to learn a little bit more about you, and we just have a chat. That's all.
Yeah. There is no fear.
No, and you know
on
what?
that level.
No, and if we let fear derail us, we wouldn't be here in Bangkok, have an amazing company in Athletes for Athletes. We wouldn't have any of that. We wouldn't be having these amazing conversations with athletes. We wouldn't be beginning to change their lives. Like, we would have just, we would have given up.
Gone to the 9 to 5.
Yeah, what's this quote?
She's the quote lord over here. See, failure, right here, what's the quote?
You only lose if you give up. That's the quote.
That's the quote.
So if you don't give up, you will never lose. Yeah. And someone told us, I can't remember who it was, and they said the only reason I took a meeting with you girls is because you were so persistent and you didn't give up. But that's a great lesson. Yeah, and we never actually reach out to anyone. So if you're following our journey and we've followed you and we're watching your journey and where you're at, it's not because we're going to reach out to you at some point. No. We only work with people who come to us. So yeah, and who put in action, because if you can't even take the first step and reach out to us to ask us, we can't take the next step for you. It's like give and take. So that's our little discussion on fear. Yeah.